Welcome to Alternative Dog Moms Podcast. I'm Kimberly Gauthier, the creator of Keep the Tail Wagging. For the past 9 years, I've been blogging about raw feeding, pet wellness, and life as a crazy dog mom. I've seen massive improvements in my dog's health since I started raising my dogs naturally, and I'm passionate about sharing my experience to help other pet parents.
I'm Erin Scott. For the past 9 years, I've been researching and learning everything I can about healing cancer, allergies, autoimmune, and mystery illnesses in both my dogs and myself. And I can't wait to share with you everything I've learned on this journey. As the Alternative Dog Moms, we're bringing you all the latest dog health news that we're following and sharing the tips, tricks, and resources we learn along the way. Now, let's get started. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Erin. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. I've been getting some tendinitis in my hand from all my podcast editing, so that's been fun.
And now we're old.
It's like... You make these lovely Apple, the magic mouse that I love for editing because you can do the horizontal scroll and the vertical scroll. But, I'm tall. I guess I have kind of big hands and I end up like the claw. And I keep having problems. But at any rate, I'm here.
I'm happy that you're here. How are your dogs?
They're pretty good. We're doing some trial and error stuff with Nino. His tummy's, it has still just never been right.
Yeah.
But we try some different things, and Nessie's doing pretty good. Her feet had started looking a little red a couple weeks ago, but we got that back under control. I don't know if it was just a temporary flare or if the things we were trying, like green tea, was actually helping or not. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it looks better now.
Yeah.
Well, she's still a little maniac running around the yard, but she's so much fun. She's so much fun.
So the other day, Zoe decided she was going to chase a rabbit. And it was the funniest thing. And I wish I had a camera. I wanted to go and grab a camera, but I just didn't want to miss any moment of it. But seeing her little, because, she's a little chubby. She's not too, you could feel her ribs and spine. So she's not super overweight, but she's a little chubby. And so seeing her little legs run as fast as she can after the rabbit, even though I knew she was like, you're not going to catch the rabbit. And I think the rabbit was like, should I slow down? Because it was just like, it was so funny. But she ran and ran, and then she came back and she was just wouldn't come in the house because it's like, okay, well, if I can't catch the rabbit, then I'm going to sniff every blade of grass that the rabbit touched.
That is the Nessie maneuver. And she tries to flush them out. And so she'll go to the last place she saw one. Yeah. So we have this canoe in our backyard that Tim's uncle gave us. And it basically just Nino pees on it and it's up against a fence. And I guess the rabbits like to hang out back there. And so Nessie had actually gotten herself behind there and run. So that's one of the first places she runs, or she'll just randomly just jump into the middle of the bushes just to try to flush them out,
Yeah. We have the rabbits live underneath our porch. And so earlier today, the dogs all ran to the window and just froze. And so it's clearly a rabbit is outside, but because they're brown and they it's not like everything's brown here, but they're brown and they'll stand next to a rock. Same color. Yeah. And they just freeze. And so I'm like, I know it's out there. You guys are looking, I'm trying to follow their eye line and I cannot find the rabbit. And then finally the rabbit moves. I'm like, oh, there it is. So I'm putting together a video of what's in my garden. So the other day I got a snake. It was actually pretty cool because it was curled up in a coil. I wish I would have gotten it like that, but I didn't notice it until it moved. And I can't stand snakes, but I respect them and I respect their role. And as long as they stay away from me, I'll stay away from them. So I got a video of the snake, but I did a lot of stomping around just to go away, please. No, and I'm not going to watch you slither because it's so gross. And then, so today I got the rabbit was hiding in my hostas and peonies. And I think the rabbit was eating one of my plants. So I had to put a little basket over the plant to protect it. But so far, no one has murdered another rabbit. But yes, they live under the deck. And then there's a bush that sometimes they're in. So the dogs, when they go outside, they all go to this one bush. I feel like Bella doesn't quite understand. Like she recognizes that, oh, there's a rabbit and she sees it. But when everyone's doing stuff, Bella's sort of like, where's the ball? And then she's like, oh, yeah. Oh, I will come and sniff where you guys are sniffing too. But then she's like, this is boring. Where's the ball? And so I was tempted to let her out today just to see what she would do with the rabbit. But then I was like, that's cruel to the rabbit. The rabbit's just living his life. He doesn't need to entertain me and risk, being harmed by my dog.
Do any of your dogs point, like where they pull their front paw up and, point?
No, they don't. Scout used to, but no, these guys don't. Apollo is it's so funny because Apollo is 80 pounds. I feel like he's just my gigantic dog. And, and he runs around and stuff, but he sort of just, I don't know, he's just a lot of golden retriever that looks like a husky when he's out in the yard and stuff. But when he sees a rabbit, the canine in him switches on so quickly that it's shocking to me. And, I did a video of him and I got so many, not many, probably about 3 or 4 comments of people who didn't like the video, where I just did a funny video of where it was a meme of this little kid that's just standing there like this, looking off to the side. Cause that's how I felt looking at my dog. Like, when your dog just, eats a rabbit in front of you. And people were like, that's not funny. And it's like, it is kind of funny.
It's dog mom life.
It is. When you live in a rural area or any place where there are going to be critters, there is some humor in that. It's not something that I enjoy. It's not something I encourage. But when you think about the fact that like Apollo is such a sweet, I've been off for several days because of the Memorial Day weekend. I had today off too. So I went crazy making reels. And so each day this week, I'll be publishing probably 2 reels. And they're funny. I think at least they're entertaining to me. But one of them is Apollo just like curled up on the sofa. And the voiceover is from Joe Rogan talking about how if the world ends, humans are gone, the little purse dogs won't make it, but the dogs that are more like wolves, like huskies, those are the ones that are they're going to make it. And I just have that going over my husky mix as he's curled up on the bed. He's like way up on all the pillows, just laying there comfortable, looking out the window. He's such a dog. A pet. He's sitting here right now being cuddled. We have morning cuddles. He's such my little baby boy. But damn, if he can get a rabbit, it's horrifying. And that, when people say, let your dogs be dogs. No, it's too much. It's not something that I want to see. He can't catch birds, thankfully. And, but something is catching and murdering birds on our property.
Oh dear.
I know. And my dog walker said, he was like, it's like someone's leaving a message for you saying you're next. I'm like, I know.
Oh
because it's like a horrible kill. It's not like it's either an area where it's a ton of feathers where, wow, that was a fight, or they left part of the body. And it's horrible.
A lot of times it's like hawks or like predator birds.
Yeah, I hope so.
You'll come outside and it looks like a bird exploded or something.
Yes, exactly.
That's usually a hawk in our neighborhood.
And it's just like, why? So yeah, my dogs are good. My cat, he's getting old. I think he's finally getting old. Dr. Silver, he has his own supplement line, and he has a CBD oil, and he has these CBD chews. And my cat is not a fan of anything. He likes like 5 things, and that is it. But WinPro now has a line of cat supplements, and he loves their dental chews, and he loves Dr. Silver's CBD chews.
Oh, wow.
So I need to order. I thought I had one more bag of them, but I can't find them anywhere. So I need to order some more. But he's getting old. So Johan was like, why is Cosmo limping? I'm like, because he's old now.
How old is he?
1,000. I actually don't know. I go by, I think I have this right because I've been on my job for 20 years. Johan and I have been together for 19 years. So he's 18. So I believe
okay.
Cosmo is either 18 or 19.
Wow.
Hey, quick question for you. Are you someone who wants to be fit, healthy, and happy? And what if I told you could get your dream body by simply just listening to a podcast? I'm Josh.
And I'm KG, and we are the hosts of the Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast.
Listen, we get it. Fitness isn't easy. Carbs, no carbs.
Just stop, okay? It doesn't have to be that complicated. And that's why we made this podcast. We get straight to the facts so you can become your best you.
So the way to check us out is click the link in the show notes or search Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast on any of the major podcast platforms. We'll see you soon.
And so probably more like 18 years old because Johan and I were a couple when I got Cosmo.
Okay.
So we were just dating. So, but yeah, he's getting up there. So, but he's still doing good. And so I figure, but yeah, he has a cat tree and I had to put a chair next to the cat tree because he can't jump
get on it.
Yeah. So he can still jump on it. And so, but he's doing all right. He's just, he's slowing down a little bit. So
we've been feeling like Nina's definitely an old guy now, like we knew he was 10. The gray has really started to come out, and because he's kind of like a brindle, it was hard to see for a while, but now it's like, oh yeah, he's definitely gray. And he used to be our dude that would just run 100 miles an hour through the house and just wanted to play ball forever in the yard. And now it's like, Tim throws it and he's just like, really? And he'll just like go get it and like
you just go get it,
lay down and just chew the ball. Like, there's no back and forth. It's just, I'm going to go get it and then it's mine. And we were like trying to get him to like play around the yard. And, he was just kind of took like a little giddy up step and was like, yeah, I'm going in. We were like, oh.
And Zoe she's doing pretty good for a 10-year-old. I've already noticed her gray coming in for a while, but I had a memory pop up. And was like, oh my gosh, look how black your face used to be. Yeah. It's like, wow, you really are gray. But I'm very lucky because she is very, she's not as energetic as she used to be, but she is energetic. And she's, we went for a walk yesterday. Yesterday was actually a good day. We've had like lots of rain for the past week or so. So yesterday wasn't a big rainy day. And so I took her and Apollo for a walk. And when no one's going to be around, which no one was around yesterday, so yay, holiday weekend, I walk her off leash. And she did great. She was like way ahead of us and just, but when she doesn't have to do anything, like when left to her own devices, she's actually pretty active. She likes to hunt. She likes to go and find things. I found a hole underneath a tree because she's been digging a hole. Because whatever's living underneath there is like, it's like, I apologize to you critters, but she's going to get you. I don't know what she's going to do with you when she gets you, but she's trying to get to you. But she's doing pretty good. She's doing all right. So I got a package today.
I know. I'm so excited to hear about it.
Yes. Rodney was kind enough to send me a copy of the Forever Dog Life book. And I am going to tell you, this book is gorgeous. I mean, I was flipping through this book and immediately sent him a text message. It is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can see well, but like, look at these pictures.
Oh, wow. Those pictures are fabulous.
Yes. Look at this. This is a cookbook for dogs. There are other cookbooks for dogs, mostly, treats and stuff, but this has meals, and listen to like these meals. Oh, Dr. Holly Gann's prebiotic cookies. Look at that. I love that she has a recipe in here. But beef spring flavors, Filipino tinola chicken and beef, edible tennis balls, Blue Zone sickles, longevity sprouts cubes, Brazilian chicken.
International.
Bison kale hash, ruby red beef and chicken. It sounds like basically recipes for people. Yeah. I love that. And it has so much. I mean, gut gummies. And look at these gummies. They're actual gummies.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's so many really cool things, and it's not just recipes. It has some shampoos, that type of things that you put on your dog, toothpaste, coat refresher, DIY mosquito spray, and it also has household. But simmer pot home scents, fabric deodorizer, dryer sheets,
nice
scented room spray, floor cleaner. So it has a lot of cool stuff in here. I am in love with this. And it's like, I don't know if this is going to be a hot take, but I'm going to put it out there. I was going to write a review, but I decided I'm just going to say this here with you. I think that this is better than the Forever Dog. I think that this is 10 times better.
I won't say that it's better, but I will say that I think this is what people thought the other book was going to be.
Yeah.
And the first book was the science and really digging into it and documenting all these things. So I understand why they did it that way. But I think this is the book everybody's been waiting for.
Yes, it's amazing. Portuguese pork stew. This is a recipe from, Bobby's family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that this is phenomenal. And what I love about it is with the first book is a great book. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a book that I would read over and over again.
Yeah, you're not going to curl up. Yeah.
It's just not something that, maybe I'll reference it in our space because someone said something and I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm going through all of my books trying to find information, but it's just not something that I would pick up again. Whereas this one is going to be the one with all of the Post-its on the pages, notes in the margins. This is going to be the one that I put work into. This is the one I personally think every dog owner should have.
Absolutely.
And I would not say the same for the Forever Dog. And it's not that the Forever Dog doesn't have a space. I agree with you where it comes to the science. And I think for the people who love that level of information, that's who that book is for.
The Forever Dog is for all the vets.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's one of those where it did a good job of bridging the gap between us and the veterinarian community. Yeah. It also opened the eyes of a lot of people who picked up the book because it was cool looking and it was about dogs. And it's like, oh, I never thought of this like this before. So I think it was a great start for them. But for the average person who is just like, this is too much. Yeah. The person who is going to get overwhelmed by all the science, or a person who's going to try to incorporate every single thing, like getting the right light bulbs and thinking about, how many blueberries do I need to give my dog on a daily basis and counting them out and all of the other things, the other cool things that they just brought up. Whereas again, like you and I would look at that as, hey, I saw this article or I read this study and it said this, and it's just like a really interesting conversation. And then we let it go and move on with our day. Whereas other people are taking that as screwing out all the light bulbs all around the house and trying to replace them with the exact right ones. And the dogs all just ran to look out the window, and Bella has a big orange ball in her mouth.
Aww.
She's so funny. But I think that this one is like, because they have toppers. So it's not just for raw feeders. It's for people who, okay, so look at this. This book is beautiful. That bowl is a watermelon. The kibble and then the topper.
I'm back to hashtag ugly raw feeding.
It's just like,
my dogs are never going to get something that looks photograph worthy.
It's that girl. So beautiful.
And I'm fine with it.
I love it. And not all of the recipes are, quote unquote balanced recipes, but some of them are. They're balanced by AFCO and PDF, but they will note otherwise. So people who are interested in starting the raw journey, I think that this is going to give them a little more comfort. I haven't looked too much into all of the recipes, so I don't know about finding, like, as far as sourcing ingredients.
Yeah, that was one question I was going to have. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still need to dive into some of these recipes, because one thing that I've noticed is the number of ingredients is a lot.
Oh, okay.
So, just reading off one. So we have bison, eggs, kale. 50 ounces of lean bisons, 9 large eggs, 9 ounces of kale, 7 ounces of bison liver. I can get bison. I cannot get bison. Well, actually, I can get bison liver through my co-op, but I can only get it certain times of the year. So I don't know. I'm sure there are people who can get access to bison.
A week's worth of meals?
Well, I guess it depends on, it says yields 6 pounds. It's adult canine whole foods yields 6 pounds. So I guess it depends on the size of your dog. But yeah, that was bison liver, green beans, mushrooms, raw or canned oysters, wheat germ oil, dried thyme, dried oregano, ground cinnamon, ground turmeric, ground fennel, nutritional yeast, eggshell powder, kelp powder. And it goes into like what you need to look for in the kelp powder. So that is, and then, served raw, poached, or gently cooked. And so it's a lot. That's a lot for 6 pounds of food. But I think for people who, yes, the recipes are a lot of ingredients. But I think for people, I think it does take into a little bit of an account of the fact that there are some ingredients that people cannot get. And so they're going to have to get these nutrients through herbs and through vegetables. It's like this one is ground pork, 11 large eggs. Eggs are expensive.
Yeah.
Salmon, but all of these are doable. Canned pumpkin, Brussels sprouts, pumpkin seeds, cranberries, turmeric, thyme, salt, bone meal, eggshell powder, kelp powder. But and this is the ingredients in this yields 5.5 pounds. So I'd be curious about pricing out a couple of these recipes and seeing how they would do. But I still think that it's a good introduction. And so for people who cannot afford commercial raw, who cannot afford to hire someone to do recipes for them, I think this is just a great way to just be introduced to a fresh food diet, and the fact that these can be served raw, poached, or gently cooked.
Yeah.
I love that because it's basically, it covers everyone. I don't see raw meaty bones yet. I'm still going through the book. I don't see a lot of things that, I haven't seen a recipe with garlic. I'm not seeing things that would make someone who's new to raw feeding scared. That would scare them away. So, and those are the type of things that would scare them away. It would be interesting to see. I think what I would love to see with this, the only critiques that I have, and this is one of those things where you can't satisfy everyone all the time, but the only critiques that I have is I wish that there was stuff about food energetics in here, because that's just a topic that I very much love. It doesn't need to be in here, but that was one of the things immediately I didn't see anything about food energetics. 2, I wish that there was more, for instance, what you provide, where a journal that allows people to track things. I wish that there was space in there for making notes or a companion. Like, I hope that maybe down the line, they'll have a companion book that helps people like basically write down what works and what doesn't work.
I'll put a link in the show notes if they want to get a dog health journal to track these things.
There you go. Because I think that your dog health journal would be such an amazing companion to this book. And just to be able to go through and write things down, to write down a recipe and basically go around town and price it out and see if it will work for you, if you don't want to completely mark up your book. But, they have, they have so much cool stuff in here, and the images are beautiful, and it looks like a professional. It's a professional cookbook. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. It looks completely different than the Forever Dog book, which was mostly just writing. This one is colorful. There's, look at this beautiful yellow page. It's colorful. It's beautiful. It makes me want to go and shop for a few things and cook. It does go into the complete and balance. It goes into things like mushrooms. It has a section where it talks about vegetables that are better cooked versus fed raw.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Because you hear that a lot.
Yeah. And it explains why. It has things where there was something that I saw and I don't know where it is, but okay, I can go on and on. I love this. It has a page about the eggs. It has egg types on this page, but the different ways that you can cook eggs.
Oh, okay.
And I just love that topic because I have a blog post about that. But it even has a section where it shows eggs. It has a raw egg, a 3-minute egg, a 5-minute egg, and it just shows 8, 10. It shows you how the egg looks. It's really kind of cool. It goes into so much. I think it takes a lot of the discussions that we're having on social media where we're trying to make them bite-sized information because no one has the attention span and we don't always have the space to write the information. And it explains things in a very basic, simple way that's colorful and beautiful and makes you want to continue reading it. And so I think that this is phenomenal. And I believe that this book will, we all know that The Forever Dog was a #1 bestseller and it was phenomenal around the world. I think that this will do like 1,000,000 times better because it's
more
just
user friendly.
Exactly. It's the absolute perfect follow-up to that book. And I am absolutely blown away. When I opened it, I basically opened it while I was binge watching Bones and had to pause Bones and I will get I have a whole new pack of Post-its and I will go through this because it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I think that there's, of course, going to be some critiques about it, like I've said, the things that we as individuals would like to see in a book like this that aren't there, but also the cost of the recipes. I think people will probably have an issue with that. But again, you just cannot please everyone. And I personally think that it would be the height of irresponsibility for Dr. Becker and Rodney to put out a cookbook that didn't have balanced recipes. And unfortunately, the reality is to balance a recipe without the use of a base mix is going to be expensive for some people. It's
a lot of ingredients.
Yeah. And it's going to be exactly. Because I mean, when I was first trying to do it with Animal Diet Formulator, my first recipes had 18 ingredients. They were insane. And that was before I knew that I could use herbs and things like that. I was just sticking to the things that I knew of. Right. And so it is pretty amazing. So I'm excited about it. I hope that people will give it a true shot. I mean, of course I know that they will, but I think about the anti-Dr. Becker community, and they were not very positive about the Forever Dog book and had, gripes about that. And so I can see them doing the same thing with this.
And, I'm sure they're just salivating for this so that all their YouTube and blogs will start getting
and I hate that because I'll be up late writing my review of this. And I love it. I love it so, so very much. So very much. Because it's so user friendly. And I think that for the people out there, like I honestly, as I'm going through this, I'm just sort of like, I might as well just go through and throw away every other cookbook for dogs I have. I mean, they're all in storage. It's not like I reference them. But I think the only other book that it's not the same, it's not better or worse, it's different, but it's in the same space would be Dr. Judy Morgan's Yin and Yang book because of the recipes. But what I love about her book is because it is specifically about food energetics. So her book, I have it notes all over, Post-its all through the pages. I actually have 2 copies of her book. I have one that's clean and then one that has a Post-its. And I didn't buy 2 copies. She was kind enough to send me one. But this one, I am not going to buy a second book to keep one clean, but I kind of want to because it's so pretty and it's so nice. And so anyway, I think you will get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, 120 plus recipes, longevity tips.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's really, I love that it's so focused on all of this.
I told Tim the other day, if dog forbid anything ever happened to me in an untimely manner, that I ask that he does not just take all of my dog library and just like donate it to Goodwill. I ask him to responsibly rehome my extensive dog library book collection to somewhere where it will be used and appreciated.
Yes, I know. I have so many books. I recently, probably in the past month, I cleared out all of my books because I had a shelf that was top to bottom, organized. Had an essential oil section. I had a health section, a nutrition section, a training section, a dog breed section, a gardening section, energetics, all of this. I had everything completely organized. And I basically went through and packed up all of the books that I don't reference on a regular basis. And I think I filled maybe 2 boxes of books that I put in storage and just kept the ones that I do reference. Mm-hmm. And this will go with the books that I do reference. I will not be packing away the Forever Dog because, I mean, in my review that I'm writing, I feel like the Forever Dog is the textbook, whereas this one is the book that you got at Borders. Yeah. Yeah, you can go and buy the expensive, $200 textbook because you're taking a class, but for the layman, they would get this book. But I am absolutely, completely blown away by just that they knew the assignment and
that's exactly what I was just thinking.
They knew the assignment and they showed up, A+. I think there's a makeup show that I love watching on Netflix, and it's just like ding dong, is one of the hosts always says ding dong when everyone does something specific really good, and that's what I'll give them. I'll give them a ding dong. They did a phenomenal job. This book is beautiful inside and out, and I highly encourage people. It's $25 on Amazon, but of course things will go on sale and be discounted both on Amazon. I watched a news report that Target is actually cutting their cost across the board because people aren't shopping at Target because they're like, we can't afford you right now, Target. We'll be back next year. So, I'm sure it'll be at Walmart. I know when I was buying up copies of the Forever Dog, I ordered 2 cases from Target. It had been discounted to something ridiculous, like $11, one for like a 2-day period. Walmart was carrying the book, Amazon. Then there's, your traditional bookstores. So, but yeah, definitely something that I think people should look into.
So I just had to laugh. I just looked up my Amazon order. I pre-ordered it on October 20th, 2023. Oh my God,
look at you.
I imagine that was as soon as the link was up. I was like, one click.
I pre-ordered Rita Hogan's book.
Yes, me too.
The thing about it is that it's telling me that I'm not getting it until February. And I feel like, is that true? It's not coming out until next year?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because I was so excited thinking it would come out this summer. And I know what I'm doing. But I'll wait patiently. And February will come and I'll forget completely about it and I'll be all excited.
It'll just show up one day.
So that's all I have to say. It is beautiful. I think people will get a real kick out of it. And I'm really excited to see what the response will be on the book.
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge. And I was excited to see Dr. Becker is going to be on, is it the Today Show or Good Morning America? One of those,
nice
shows. Yeah, which is pretty exciting.
That is so amazing.
Have such a mainstream spotlight,
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. So your turn. What do you got? That's all I got.
So, I spend a lot of time in the car. I have a commute. So I'm such a podcast listener. And I had a couple podcasts on my radar. A couple of them are new. And then a couple of them are just, some ones that I listened to that had some episodes that I wanted to give a shout out to. So first, I wanted to mention that Sarah McKagan of Upward Dog Rehab, she has a new podcast called Dogs That Can. And the artwork has, like a dog in a wheelchair, the little wheels and just, and he's just running. And it just makes me smile just to look at the podcast art. And I think she only has 2 episodes out so far, but episode 2 actually has Dr. Steve Marsden on it. And he's talking about things like CCL tears and hip dysplasia and using his herbs to treat these things and not needing surgery and stuff. And so I'm excited to start following that one and see who else will pop up over there. There's a new woo-woo dog podcast called Soul Touched by Dogs, and I'm going to be a guest on it soon. I just recorded it. And the woman who hosts it, she's from England, but she lives in Spain, and her name is Anka Herman. And she's had Dr. Jeff Feynman on and Dr. Edward Basingwaite. She's had like Reiki practitioners, animal communicators, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to mention that because I know we have a lot of people who are into the woo-woo that listen. Another newish one is the Wolfie's Wish podcast, which is Erica, who talks a lot about grief and pet loss. And, the first thing I thought of when I saw it was, Kathy, because I'm still so shocked, and I don't even know her personally, but that was such a loss. But I like the Wolfie's Wish grieving cards. I like being able to send like a physical item. I like to do something IRL when somebody's dog passes. And so anyway, I actually recorded an episode with Erica over there talking. And part of what we were talking about is, the weird grief that pops up when you've lost a dog and then you adopt a new dog that's so different from your dog. And that's a particular type of grief. So anyway, those are some of the newer ones that are on my radar that I wanted to mention.
I want to also throw out, because I'm still listening. I mean, I'll continue listening, but Rebellious.
Yes.
Each episode, their newest episode is called, Are There Too Many Types of Food Now?
Yes. I thought that was a great title.
I'm excited about that topic. And I saw this 2 days ago, and I'm saving it for when I'm doing something so that I can listen to it while I'm doing whatever I'm working on. I have to go into the office this week, so I'll probably be listening to it when I'm in the office. And I am such a fan, of that podcast. It's so good. And it's one of those where it reminds me just of when you meet someone who gets your particular type of crazy, I feel like I found more people who it's like, oh, yay. And I already know what they're going to talk about just by reading that title. And I am so here for it and so excited to listen to it. So, I mean, I think it's amazing. I mean, I don't know if it's just that I'm noticing it more or if there really is a change, but, definitely a change since the past 10 years, but lately it feels like there are so many really amazing voices that are coming out and talking about just different aspects of whether it be fresh food or just having dogs. And it's really exciting just to sit down because, 5-6 years ago, there were like a couple of podcasts, but not really a whole lot. Whereas now, it's like, oh gosh, I can't keep up with them all.
I know. I have like a whole to be listened to list, So Rita Hogan did one that I think you'll love this topic.
I do. I have this one on my waiting.
Yes, it's called Why I'm Not Brand Loyal. And, there's been so much chatter lately about some of these kinds of things. And I just think it's so important to talk about, like you always say, like it's each dog is an individual, just like the name of her podcast, right? And like what works for this dog in this particular scenario and knowing that we have lots of options is a good thing. Yeah. So I really, that's a quick listen. And I think it's one everybody should check out.
I think that, what I wish is not so much for the act. Well, it works for everyone, but for brands out there, because I do sometimes, not so much anymore, because I feel like I've silenced myself a lot over the past couple of years. So I don't hear instead of being in the middle of drama, I kind of hear drama about after it's been happening, and it's like, oh, okay. But I wish whenever I see brands that have issues with each other, I wish that people would understand that you don't have to worry, because we don't have to just, and I want this for dog lovers too. You don't have to love just one CBD oil company or just one joint supplement. I mean, my dogs alternate between 3 different joint supplements. I love 2 different digestive type of supplement companies. I love 3 different mushroom brands. It's more, for me at least, about the people behind the company and trusting them and knowing that they are providing the best product for my dogs, as well as seeing the benefits of the product.
Yeah.
And then I also believe that every product is kind of, and I feel like Angela Arlino may have said something about this years ago. I don't know if she said it on our podcast or if I just heard her say it in passing on social media, where she mentioned that, like with CBD oil, when you alternate between brands, of course, quality brands. I don't know if you can hear my cat, but he is like upstairs howling right now. That's his new. He always does that, but he has a new howl that's really obnoxious. And it's just like, golly. But, one thing that she has said is that, you gain the benefit of how the product was grown and how it's exposed to, because it's not like everyone is getting their CBD oil from plants that are all grown on one plot of land.
Right.
And so you're just getting so many of these different benefits. So it's okay to alternate. And I personally, just with CBD oil on my mind, I love her Ease product, both the dog and the horse. I think that they are absolutely phenomenal. I love the Balance by Earth Buddy Pet. I think it's amazing. There are so many really cool products out there in the market. It really just depends on what works for your dog. And I think it's okay to bounce around and try different things to figure that out, because over the past 10 years, I have tried so many different CBD oil brands. It's not even funny. And I actually got to a point, before I met or was introduced to CBD dog health, that I didn't think CBD oil really worked.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I thought it was hit or miss. But, Angela was, for me at least, a game changer. But I'm not brand loyal. I am, there's got to be another word for it, where I really respect that brand and what they do. I really believe in it. I think that it's okay to try different things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I appreciated Rita Hogan even weighing in on that.
Yeah.
So actually on Angela's podcast, Your Natural Dog, this is a great topic. I thought this episode was called Taking Medicine Back from Corporate Interests.
Ooh, shots fired.
That was a juicy episode. And then over on Dr. Judy Morgan's podcast, she's had Chelsea Kent and Poppy Phillips in the last couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So anyway, if anybody needs any more podcast recommendations, I always have a playlist.
There you go. You will be busy for the next couple of weeks. You're welcome.
If you're somebody that drives a lot like me, I got you covered. So, TV talk. I'll be quick. New show on Netflix. Very funny. It's called Tires. And it's about these dudes that work in a tire shop, like a retail business. And it's just very inappropriate kind of humor. And if you've ever worked in like a retail environment, you will appreciate this show.
Awesome. Okay, I will check it out. I'm trying to think if I have anything new, because I've just been binge watching Bones again.
It sounds like
it's been all weekend. Even Johan will come in and sit down, and he is not so politely asked to leave the room when he starts critiquing the show, because he's like, "That's not what blood looks like when da da da," and it's like, okay, this is you're not welcome.
Oh, you can never watch cop shows with a cop. That was my whole life growing up.
It's like, I do not appreciate your feedback. Nobody asked you. We're enjoying this show as if it's real, and we're going to, so you can leave now. So there's that.
I think the only cop shows my dad ever approved of were Hill Street Blues, NYPD Blue, and The Shield. And The Shield was just outrageous too, but he at least like thought it was so outrageous nobody would like think it was real.
I know. I think I only had one moment where I was just like, well, I don't understand why the bullet went through that door, but it didn't go through that thing. But Johan was kind enough to explain to me the different types of bullets. And before he even it's not like it was a long drawn out explanation, but I was just sort of like, okay, yeah, I'm done. This is why we don't do this. Just stop. It's okay. But as far as new shows on Netflix, I love Bridgerton. I love period things, and I love Bridgerton. Bridgerton is so much fun. Season 1 was just wonderful. Season 2 was the absolute best. I was so looking forward to season 3. I was so upset that they broke it into 2 parts because I hate when they do stuff like that. And I watched the first 4 episodes. I think it's 4 episodes of season 3, and I hated it.
Oh no.
Hated it. I was so disappointed. I fell asleep twice. I was so disappointed. I feel like there's too many things going on. They rushed it. I hated it. I mean, I'm just like, I'm hoping that the end part when it comes back next month will be better. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like they jumped the shark, and maybe because it's supposed to be based on all of these books. So it's supposed to be like, I don't know, 8 seasons, or I don't know how many books there are. And it's supposed to be a book based on each family member's romance. And it's like, you're only on, season 3, and you messed up royally.
Oh no.
I don't like it. But other than that, and then did we talk about this already? Elsbeth?
Yes, we did.
I need to get back into it because I just love her so much.
I watched the season finale, but it seems like it's coming back for season 2. So
I hope so. I just love that character so very much. I went back to, because I didn't quite finish Bones. I can never get myself to finish a complete season because I kind of feel sad. So I just sort of like, when it gets close to the end, I just like reset. And so I started over again. And I'm getting such a kick out of all the actors where I'm like, oh, that's Pam from True Blood. And that's so-and-so from, this person was on this episode of Scandal where they did that. And Johan doesn't appreciate my knowledge.
Oh, Tim and I are IMDbing constantly. Like, where do we know them from? And then you're like, oh yeah, they were on an episode of CSI.
Basically, I know everyone from Grey's Anatomy or Scandal, and if they have been on Grey's Anatomy or Scandal, I can tell you what their issue was. I can tell you exactly what was going on and what their issue was. So, but yeah, I'm very much enjoying Bones, and so I'm going to watch that for the rest of the evening, and then maybe feed my dogs. I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
I'm sure they would.
Well, it was nice chatting with you.
Until next time, everybody.
Bye, guys.